Hello everybody, my name is Alexandros Dimitriades and I'm going to discuss a couple of ideas and leadership styles. There are significant differences among scholars on identifying this specific set of skills that define the most effective leader. Actually, there are as many different leadership styles as there are different definitions of leadership, which in turn seems to follow the needs and the beliefs of the corresponding society, group of the persons who attempted to define it, and in a progression of thought, we see evolution of definition of leadership from the authoritative, the ability to impress the will of the leader on those led and induce obedience, respect, loyalty, and cooperation, as Moore describes, to the collaborative leadership that utilizes values and sense of calling and membership to motivate followers, as we read in Nordhaus. The specific skills for various approaches to leadership are described extensively by Nordhaus and other scholars. I will discuss the trait approach and the behavioral approach. The trait approach is based on a set of studies made mainly by Stoeckel in 1948 and revised in 1974, by Mann in 1959, Lord, Divader, and Allinger in 1986, Kirkpatrick and Locke in 1991, and Zakharov, Kemp, Bader in 2004, to name some of the basic scholars discussing this approach. The trait approach focuses entirely on the leader, and not on those who follow. It is theoretically more straightforward, since it is exclusively concerned with what traits leaders exhibit and who has those traits. The key point of this approach is that a leader with a certain set of traits can handle any situation effectively. Therefore, there is no need for laying out a set of specific requirements of the skills a leader needs in certain situations. Major leadership attributes are intelligence, self-confidence, determination, integrity, and sociability, while attributes are intelligence, self-confidence, determination. While in another way to approach the topic, leadership ability is constructed by high levels of emotional intelligence, which has to do with emotional or affective and thinking or cognitive domains. Emotional intelligence incorporates a set of skills and characteristics that influences the way leaders exercise leadership and the satisfaction of their followers, as it is pointed out by Tagliadoro and Paschiaridis in 2015. A four-branch model for emotional intelligence was developed by Meyer and Salovey in 1997, and it includes the skills of managing emotions so as to attain specific goals, understanding emotions, emotional language, and the signals conveyed by emotions, using emotions to facilitate thinking and perceiving emotions accurately in oneself and others. The strength of the trait approach is that it is a natural perspective, since, as Nordhaus points out, it fits clearly with our notion of leaders that are individuals who are out front and leading the way in our society. This approach to leadership is consistent with the perception that leaders have special skills, they are different people, and this difference resides in the special traits they possess. People need to see their leaders as gifted people, and the traits approach serves this need. Other strengths of the traits approach is that there is a lot of research to back it up, which gives it a measure of credibility, while it also highlights the leader component in the leadership process. It also provides us with specific benchmarks that we need to look for if we want to become effective leaders. On the other hand, the trait approach has often ambiguous and uncertain findings in regards to the leadership traits needed for a leader to become effective. Another criticism is that it fails to take into account specific situations, which results in a list of leadership skills vague and sometimes unrealistic. Simply put, people who possess certain traits that make them leaders in one situation may not be leaders in another situation. Finally, the trait theory has resulted in several subjective determinations of the most important leadership traits, while there are also varying results in the utilization of the trait approach and the corresponding leadership outcomes. In the behavioral approach to leadership, as defined by Nordhaus, again, there is an emphasis on the behavior of the leader. The person in charge can select which leadership style is going to be applied, and there are two major kinds of behaviors: task behaviors and facilitate goal accomplishment, and relationship behaviors that help followers feel comfortable with themselves, with each other, and with the situation they are in. According to the managerial grid model of behavioral leadership, first introduced by Blake and Mutter in 1964, the four main leadership styles are nicknamed authority compliance, country club management, middle-of-the-road management, and team management, using a 1 to 9 authority versus compliance scale. The managerial styles of the behavioral approach are defined as measures of the concerns of the leader for results on one hand and for the constituents on the other. with the team management style utilizing a balanced behavior where the leader employs such skills as simulation of group participation, determination, making priorities clear, following through, behaving open-mindedly, and showing enthusiasm, as well as pleasure for the work to be done. The strength of the behavioral approach is that it broadens the scope of leadership to include not only the traits a leader needs to have, but also how those traits are used in certain situations and in connection with the followers. A wide range of research validates this approach and shows the positive results of its use. The task-relationship balance is extremely important, and this concept has improved the effectiveness of leadership. Finally, it helps the leaders to learn a lot about themselves and how they come across to others by examining their behaviors in light of the task and relationship dimensions. On the other hand, the research on the behavioral approach has not shown unquestionably how leaders' behaviors are associated with performance outcomes. The only strong finding from several studies is that the leaders who are utilizing the behavioral approach have followers who are more satisfied. Nevertheless, this approach has been unable to define the universal behaviors that are associated with effective leadership. Finally, the high-task, high-relationship behavioral leadership model, which theoretically should provide the best result, has failed to do so in several studies. Emphasis on tasks or in relationships were more productive in different occasions. In conclusion, although the modern leadership approaches, such as servant leadership, transformational leadership, has significantly more followers, I decided to focus on the trait and behavioral approach because they are both centered on the leader and the leader's skills. Although leadership skills can be taught, there is a significant importance in those with such skills developed through life experience and personal mastery. We can all learn how to play basketball. We cannot all play in NBA. Thanks for your time, and I hope I have shed some light in the trait and behavioral approaches to leaders.